What's good, King Gonda? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another YouTube collaboration here in this space. I know you guys like these kind of interviews, so and I want to come up with some good content. Make sure you subscribe and like the video. But today I have one of my good friends that's in this space and has a really interesting channel. I'll let her introduce herself and what her channel is all about. Go ahead.
What's up, everybody? First of all, big shout outs to my brother O'Shea Duke Jackson. He's been a massive support system behind my platform, which I've previously been here on YouTube as The African Superstar. I recently had to begin a new channel, and that new channel is under The African Superstar Black. So any of our mutual viewers, please do come over and subscribe. You can also head to my website, theafricansuperstar.com, to get more Pan-African gear like what I'm rocking today. I do everything for my people. Basically, I'm a content creator, formerly a resident of America, lived in Columbus, Ohio, moved to the UK for a few years to pivot to my current home of Accra, Ghana. So I have quite a long story and lots of details, and some of those things are what I talk about on my channel. So big shout out to O'Shea. Thank you so much for hosting me and always being a great support system behind my platform, brother. I appreciate you.
All right. And I definitely thank you for coming on. We talk quite regularly. You know, you don't be taking my advice, but it's okay. Well, that's another conversation, you know. But I do love you. Now I do like you, love you for taking the narrative and the courage to go to Africa, to go to Ghana and move. And I want to give a big shout out to Search for Uhuru, because him and you had a very interesting conversation. So, you know, Search for Uhuru, Dynasty Samir channel. And you were on a stream last night that discussed, are African men held to the same standard as African American men, right? And then me and you had a phone conversation because we talk quite regularly off YouTube.
Right.
And we were talking about how, you know, a lot of brothers feel that sisters like yourself who are from the Black American community, when you go to Africa, there becomes a comparison between, you know, African men being more masculine, being more traditional and stuff like that. And then you have the other side of the story where brothers are like, well, wait a minute. Well, it's not that many guys out there that may have a lot of money. So a lot of you sisters out there are going out there making it rain on the African brothers, you know, and don't want to tell nobody. So we want to get to the real bottom of this. Are Black women, you know, when they go to Ghana, Gambia, because I heard our Kathy talk about that, you know, there's a lot of guys that are very successful as they are in the States. So can African men earnings in Ghana and those countries, can they meet the Black woman's standard of living in America? And if not, is she paying for a lot of stuff?
I mean, certainly we need not get it twisted, because I think it's kind of dangerous that we have, you know, many people from the diaspora just have this expectation as the continent is desolate. People are just poor. People don't have anything. There are many affluent, well-educated, professional African professionals here, singles and all of that. But naturally, I think it has to do with probably, you know, the currency exchange and things like that. Those of us that are coming from the diaspora, most of us entrepreneurs, or we may come with savings, or we may come with, you know, residual income from the West. That's certainly my situation, you know, as an entrepreneur. I have foreign currency coming into my finances. So that's going to pivot us above a lot of people here because of that amount of earnings. I'd say, like here in Ghana, for instance, 1,000 CDs a month would be a high salary for a graduate. Okay. And that calculates to probably a little bit over 200 USD a month. All right. Now, obviously, people from the US were accustomed to much higher monthly incomes than that. You know, I mean, $200, you really couldn't even survive in any state with that kind of income in America. So you have that different, you know, echelon in terms of income earning potential. But I think what I personally have really enjoyed is the maturity of the young people here. I feel like they're a bit more abreast of other things, and they have a different perspective on family and community and basically their role in society. We grew up in the West very individualistic, so everything that we do is about what we want, and it's different here. You know, a lot of other things come into comparison. I actually have had a few relationships with younger men here, and when I was formerly married, my husband was also younger than me, but they were very mature men in my opinion, and that was what I liked the most. And for me, I also wasn't really, you know, like O'Shea said, we have these conversations all the time about what a high value man is and all those things. In my opinion, a high value man is not someone who's just a high earner. I'm also looking for characteristics of a good man, because that's going to provide you the longevity that you need in a relationship anyway. And sometimes you'll see that, you know, not everybody, but a lot of high earners, because they do earn a lot of money, they feel that compensates them in many different departments. So, you know, it's really not encourageable for us to make the comparison, because we are socialized differently, and culturally we are different. And so, you know, and it's not a fair advantage either. Like I said, based on the currency exchange, you know, somebody who was, for instance, bringing in $200 a month in the US would be considered extremely poor. That same dynamic here on the continent is a high salary, you know, so it's not, you know, that salary would be eligible for someone who's a college graduate here in Ghana, you know. Versus, you know, probably in the US, you can make that money, you know, doing odds and ends, you know, bartending, or, you know, driving a taxi cab or something like that. You know, we can't even really compare the two. So, right. And I think also because of that dynamic, women are going to be a lot more flexible with the men here, because they already know. You know, they already know, okay, I'm in a situation where I have more than a lot of people here, or have access to a lot of, you know, to more than a lot of people here. So, you know, you have the very top tier of, for instance, gentlemen. Most of them are going to be married, you know, because that's a big part of the culture here. Marriages and families are big. Also culturally, people here tend to marry around 30 or early 30s. So people that are beyond that age are either in relationships, or maybe they're divorced or widowed, you know, so there are many things to be considered. So I think those dynamics are going to make women from the diaspora much more flexible when they get here, because if they want to stick to maybe the expectations that they've had in the West, you know, they're not going to be able to participate in that, you know, so they have to be flexible. If you're mid 30s or late 30s, single and unmarried with no children, you know, your age mates are more than likely already going to be in those situations. You know, either you're going to get a player from the Himalayas, you're going to be a side chick, you are going to, you know, maybe get a divorcee. You can participate in polygamy. You know, those are going to kind of be some of your options. If you're still wanting to have maybe your own husband and have children, you want a gentleman without baggage, you're going to have to go young, you know? And then the younger guys, they're not established. So, you know.
So let me ask you this then, because here's the argument that I've heard from just women in general in the Black community. Black men are not checking for, or they're not willing to provide. So that's a big thing that you hear. Like, you know, African American men or Black men in America, they're chasing, you know, white women, or they're chasing other groups of women. They're buffooning, you know, they're doing that, and they're not providing.
The at an all-time high.
Right. So they're doing that, right? Okay. So then you have the argument that, you know, okay, this guy is not, you know, Black women, you know, we're on this level, you know, some of you Black men are on that level down there. And so then the Black woman is like, you know, okay, I watch Wakanda, you know, Black Panther, I'm going back to the motherland. And then there's a lesser pool of guys based on the economy, because I think, like, for example, the city of Chicago has like 250,000 millionaires. The whole continent, the whole West Africa don't have 250,000 millionaires. Okay. So when this sister comes over there, that's, telling the black man in America, you need to make this much money. You need to be this tall. And you need to do this for me. When you go to Africa, where the guys tend to be, on average, a little bit shorter than African-American men. So now she's like, oh, well, these guys don't have any money. Now I can just, okay, well, I'm gonna accept the fact that he ain't got no money. I'm gonna have to help him. But ain't that what they got away from? And here's something else I want to say. Well, I just want to say this. Wait, before I'm going to add one more thing in there. Okay. So let's just be honest. You're a black woman. How is a sister going to respect a man? It don't matter where you at. African sisters, African Americans, we all know as black men, press 1 in the comment section. If a woman make more money than you, she ain't gonna really respect you like that. Now, we don't want to talk about that. How can you respect a man that you make more money than? Because we know how y'all are. We're gonna just be honest now. How do you go to that where you're like, okay, I know I make more money than him, but then why don't he make more money than me? Like, talk about that, please.
I think that we have to really also be honest with this situation and respect that black women are wildly loyal to black men. And we've actually seen this for decades. I would definitely say on the spectrum of ethnicities to begin to date outside, black women were some of the last people to kind of take that option because they were always pursuing and always hoping for an opportunity to engage with their men. With that being said, there's always a flexibility that black women will exert when they're interested. And that's the same in America as it is on the continent. If they are able to see that perhaps there's potential in this man, his heart's in the right place and that kind of thing, they may be willing to deal with it. We see it happen all the time in the States. Women are with men that others would consider undesirable. Guys with prison records, guys with multiple children all over the place, guys with issues, guys with addictions, guys that are not stable. You see over and over and over again, black women are still willing to partner up with them in hopes that maybe these relationships will matriculate. I think when they come to the continent, because there is, serious machismo here, where men feel it's more or less like a social pressure. Society here looks to the man to be the breadwinner and to be the person in control. So men want to fulfill that expectation. They don't want to be looked down on in society as a useless man. So women coming from outside are going to see that and say, you know what, maybe he's in a situation where he just needs this, that, he needs help, he needs whatever. Sometimes, and this as well, O'Shea, people have entrepreneurial ambitions here on the continent, but they lack capital. They know the land, they know the territory, they may know great business opportunities, but they don't have access to capital. So someone might be willing, a woman might be willing to invest in this man that they can create a business together. And don't get me wrong, definitely a lot of Western women, because they have ingested this ideology of the independent woman and they will degrade black men. If they're in a position where they're the high earner or whatever, then yeah, they're going to emasculate the man. But an intellectual black woman realized that what's the word for it? Oh gosh, I can't think of it. Basically, the emotions of the black man is very, very sensitive. So you have to be careful about how you go about that to make him still feel valuable and empowered, and not exert your power over him. Because like you said, yeah, if you treat him without respect, he's not going to perform to his top potential. He has to feel a value to the woman. He has to feel that whatever he's contributing to the house is needed and necessary. If he feels emasculated, he's not going to perform. I think we also negate the fact that many African women, and we see this, from the migrants as well in America, they work hard and invest in their families too. The African women are not sitting back and expecting their men to do everything. They do expect him to be the head and stuff like that. But they work as well very hard. They go to school and they do all that stuff to also facilitate their side of things. I think the Western perspective of relationships is where we have gotten very distorted, because we're always looking to the other partner to facilitate the entire relationship, when it really should be a blend of the two, you know? And there are many accounts of Black women being down for men that were not yet established and being the backbone of their escalation. You know, you have people like Denzel Washington, even the gentleman who composed the Black Panther movie. You know, he recently came out with a statement about how his wife provided him the software to produce screenplays. You know, he met her when he was in university. He didn't have much to offer. She invested in him. It's not, you know, when a woman invests in a man that she loves, it's not, it doesn't detract in any way. There just has to be finesse in how that gets done. And when you invest in the man, you do it quietly, you do it with dignity, you do it to be sensitive to him, and you cultivate who he is, you know? And I think actually intercultural marriage on the continent is a very powerful tool that we should be utilizing, because when we're coming in as foreigners, there's a lot of things that we don't know, and they can help be that buffer, you know, basically that intermediary that helps us get reacclimated to the continent. If we keep all this division in regards, and I mean, again, some of these things are fractions that have been have been put into place by our Western counterparts to prevent us from doing this. We should actually look at it as an asset. You know, certainly any person I date here in Ghana is an asset to me, you know, in as much I'm an asset to them. So that's how I look at it. And I know I have a different perspective than a lot of people. Obviously here on YouTube, you can see a lot of the friction between the diaspora and continentals and, you know, men and women, but I see it in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Because let me say this real quick, okay? Because and there were certain YouTubers I've seen that are women that have went to Africa and you know, gotten married and stuff like that. And whenever I hear you know, complaints about, you know, they're not warranted, because we know that Black men in America could be doing a much better job than what they're doing. Right. All right, so I'm not gonna sit there and say that that's not the case. But then when you go to Africa, and there's one YouTuber in particular where you hear those same complaints and you see them with the guy, and it's like, oh, that's a young dude, that's a bodybuilder, that's a young dude who working out. So it looks like, wait a minute. Are these sisters over here? I mean, we can't negate.
We can't also.
Are y'all
negate,
tricking?
You know, no, we can't negate, you know, nature. I mean, if, you know, most women are going to like attractive men. You know what I mean? They're going to like men that have, you know, are physical, or tall, or good looking, charming. You know, if you want something from someone, it's a fact. You get more honey bees get more honey. Wait, I can't even think of the saying. You know the saying, O'Shea. You can catch more bees with honey than vinegar. That's the saying. Okay. So don't get me wrong. I'm not going to negate the fact that there are plenty of opportunists here. There's definitely a lot of people that admonish the West, and they will see foreigners as an opportunity to access that. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, yeah, women are going to be attracted to that. And I mean, at the end of the day, O'Shea, we got to really hone in on the root of that and ask ourselves, why are these women heading to the continent? You know, if they were being retained in America or in the UK or whatever, if they were established, if they had families, then they would have every reason to stay. There's reasons why they're looking towards the continent to achieve relationships or love or romances, because they're unable to attain it where they are, you know? And so be it. I mean, I think Black men also need to take a look at themselves and say, okay, you know, if we don't want these girls going over here, or if we don't want them ruining our reputation, as in we're not, you know, good men, and we don't offer these opportunities, then so be it. You know, we need to do a better presence, because I'm telling you, Black women are loyal. Okay. Mm-hmm. Black women are loyal. And if, you know, they were getting opportunities, I mean, it's the same reason they're complaining about Black men dating outside, and they're complaining about them not settling down. It's
Mhm.
because they would rather have access to who is in their vicinity. But with the lack of that, an ambitious woman is going to go out and look for what she wants. That is part of our Western nation, is to pursue what we want. If it's not available in a certain environment, then so be it. I mean, I'm also not going to negate that family and a relationship is a top priority for me as well. I've lived in America, I've lived in the UK, and I didn't find anyone compatible. I was dating. I mean, O'Shea knows. I have quite a vibrant love life, but the bottom line is that I'm kind of looking for someone on the same wavelength in regards to establishing ourselves here on the continent. And that's a huge challenge, because a lot of people, especially if you're dealing with African migrants in the diaspora, they're not ready to return. They have a long-term plan to return. I've had, a few relationships. I carried on a relationship with a Ghanian in the UK and a Nigerian in the UK. And then my ex-husband was a Cameroonian. And so their plans are, they want to reside in the West. If you want to go back to the continent, herein lies the challenge. I guess people see it as a negative thing. I see it as an ambitious thing. Okay, if what you want is not available, then go for it. And also women, I mean, you and your people in the manosphere say this all the time. Women do have a shelf life. We're not working with an abundance of time, especially if you want to give birth and things like that. We need to capitalize when we're hot. You know what I'm saying? When we have it, when we have the capability to be marketable. So that means if you're in the West for a long time, you're not getting forward in your relationship life. You learn that there's a place where there's a better probability. Go for it.
But I think here's what's being found out but not being said. I'm gonna tell you what's happening. For the group of men, for the ladies who have returned to the continent, here's what's not being said. For the black guys that were in the United States, okay, those guys needed to, you need to be a provider, you need to be a builder, you need to have this, you need to have that. Now, for the guys that they had these expectations of, in my opinion, these were not men that were as attractive to these sisters. Sisters don't want to say that, but that's what I feel. Okay? But
I get what
when
you're
we
saying.
go to Africa, and that's the dude that I think is really attractive to me, he don't have to do shit. Okay, in fact, I don't mind. Now, all of a sudden, I'm going to make up these excuses like, oh, yeah, well, it's not even about money. Hold on one second. Hold on. Y'all give me some dating music. Yeah, it's not all money's not all about that. It's all about Kumbaya and Shaka Zulu and everything like that. And it's like, but when I see you out there, even when I look at yourself, every dude that you with look like he can play for the 49ers. You know what I'm saying? Every guy that you with, but it's like, okay, do he have to do the same thing that the dudes in the States do? No.
But I mean,
let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you the hypocrisy here. This is what I'm saying. Wait.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Look, you guys, I'm not gonna put you in this category for example's sake. But it's the same thing when several brothers will go from America to like the Dominican Republic. And they'll be hooking up with women that are prostitutes or whatever, but she's beautiful. She's absolutely beautiful. They're leaving the West, abundance of college educated women with their own cars and houses to go hook up with this, bartender for $20 in Brazil. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we can't negate attraction and what's considered exotic, and that also works on the end of the diasporan women because they are considered exotic here, so that means the realm of guys that may be able to get access to what might be different than where they are. I mean, it's just just the law of attraction.
What I'm saying is this, then it's okay.
I mean,
some of the ladies are saying this.
Some women are tricky. Yeah.
Okay, but women are tricky. Yes, I know that for a fact. Yes. But what I'm saying is this.
It's true.
What I'm saying is this.
It ain't tricking if you got it. told O'Shea and they tricking
Wait, but hold on.
it.
Here's what I'm saying. Like, even for the brothers, okay, because I mean, let's okay, for the brothers that's in Ghana, that's going to, some brothers, we got the little African dating show going on now. Shout out to Kim and Jolene, you know what I'm saying? We doing our thing. So when brothers say they want to deal with a woman, they're looking at, okay, I'm not trying to deal with her because she got money or something like that. I'm dealing with her because she's a little bit more,
she got more
feminine, And listen, I've seen, a lot of these guys that deal with these chicks, in my opinion, they're not like knockouts or nothing like that. Unlike when I see black women deal with dudes in Ghana, these are guys that, could be like NFL players. Like, they work out, you can tell. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hold on a second. But the African American guys, when they're dating women in Africa, these women are like, most of the time, like normal girls. They're not like super looking models. The ones that I've seen, because
the women have a monopoly here, though. I mean, the women have a monopoly. They kind of can pick and choose, and because there's so many, black men around, it's more competitive. And that makes the men, pursue the women more, is because they know, okay, you know what? If I'm not going to get with this girl, if she's beautiful or she's this, that, there's other guys that are going to be vying for her. Unfortunately, it's been my experience in the West, guys know that they have the advantage of multiple options of women, which makes them put the women in, put them on the bench and say, you know what? Yeah, Gina's a nice girl. I'm not ready to settle down. I'm going to go sow my oats. And when I'm ready, I'm going to go back and get with her. You know what I'm saying? In Africa, it's like, hey, you better be up on your girl or else she'll get taken. It's a much more competitive environment. So, we have the advantage here. I mean, and I guess,
but what I'm saying is this. No. What I'm saying is this. To ask one group of guys, you need to have this, and this. And then go to Africa. I'm not saying it happens for all the time, because you got some brothers in Africa that got money. But let me just say this. I was hanging out, and I'm only talking about Uganda. I was hanging out with some of the ballers in Uganda. Talk about, like, if you have a lot of money in Africa, in Uganda, I'm pretty sure it's the same way in other places. These guys got, like, mistresses on mistresses. They don't even have a reason to, and everybody knows it, because they got so much money. They can just, okay. So what I'm saying is, because what I'm saying is dialing it back. To ask one group of guys to say, you need to have this and this, but then when you go to Africa, you're dealing with guys who can't give you that. And, this dude looked like, 6'7" or whatever like that. It just goes to show that it's hypocritical, because, okay, if these guys are not building, but in Africa, you over here with a dude that look like he's singing background for New Edition back in 1998, on the reunion tour. You only dealing with him because you think and I know you dealing with him because you thinking he gonna be putting booty clapping sound on somebody. We know what y'all over there doing. We're not going to. So what I'm saying is, just tell the truth. Tell the truth. Make it. Be honest about. What's really going on in these streets.
Some are tricking, and you know what? I'm going to be honest about. I'm gonna be honest about my situation. Okay, so
who you tricked on? You don't want to talk about it?
No, definitely not tricking.
You didn't trick on nobody? Have you been tricked on?
Nah, because I mean, first of all,
because you told me you got a lot of free drinks, so they tricking on you.
I'm not. No, I don't.
You don't want to tell nobody?
I'm one way a celebrity here. I don't have to do all that. Okay, but this was my method. Okay, my method was, and this is something I think you spoke about a little bit. Is you find the talent. You find the talent. Obviously, I'm here on YouTube. I'm looking to grow my media. So, I look for talent. The first gentleman I dated here a couple years ago named Joseph, he's a photographer. He did some really great work for me. That's how we met. And we were dating. And actually, Joseph, to this day, we're not currently dating, but he's never asked me for anything, at all. He has something going on for himself. I think the women that are coming here should look for that. Maybe not. He's certainly not filthy rich, but he's growing his brand and growing his business. All right. And the second person that I was just dating, who has since relocated to the UK, unbelievably, he went under the AMG, bracket. I mean, he basically started helping me with some of my media, and I was able to provide income to him for being a part of my popular series Love on the Continent. So, I provided opportunities, and I think the diaspora should, now in the case of him, I tested him one day and I asked him, he was telling me he was having some issues and this and that. And I was like, oh, well, I could help y'all with a little bit of money. And he was like, nah. So he wouldn't directly take money from me, but I gave him a job, basically. Say, okay, you know what? I need these things done. Can you help me? Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll dash you a little bit for your time. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to, do it in an indirect way. And I saw how he responded to that. He was very generous with the money that he received, from our stipend. And, so you got to do it in a finesse kind of way. I would never deal with the man, for instance, that came and was like, hey, look, I need money for this, that, or expecting me to take care of him. No. But I looked for kind of the character of these gentlemen, and they were doing the best with what they had. They just needed a little help. So, but yeah. And my final word is, it ain't tricking if you got it. Now, there are some women that come over here and they've been starved. Right. They've been starved. So they see the 6 packs and they see the muscles and they just go crazy. They start buying cell phones. They start, doing all kind of stuff. They do document papers. They do all that kind of stuff. I would advise women to take a step back and maybe try to analyze these gentlemen and see what their motives are. If you meet them and are automatically, talking about traveling and going abroad and how they've always dreamed of moving to the UK, these are cardinal signs. If you choose to continue with that person, so be it. Like I said, the second person I dated, he told me that he had already begun the process to travel abroad, when we started dating. So I was aware of that. I just didn't know, what the time frame was, as he didn't know. So, he was completely honest with me about the situation. That's what those are the kind of characteristics you want to look for. Deception, you should cut it out. Don't proceed when they're deceptive. Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, it was a fun show. Like I said, we were a good chemistry. I'm hoping to come out there to Ghana and, really show y'all how.
I'm definitely, we're going to turn up.
Yeah, because I've been already.
I know exactly where I'm going to take it. I got this one spot.
I already been saving my money. I'm out here. I'm out here rich. I got 10,000 Uganda. That's about $2, $3. So I'm been saving my money.
Very, very rich man.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you know. So hold on, don't be hating on me. Don't hate on me. Y'all see that? Yeah, no.
It's good.
But go ahead and tell them, man. Tell them about.
We about to. Yeah,
it's gonna be.
Make it rain.
Yeah. I'm gonna show y'all what.
Do Jackson and Ghana, right. It's over. It's a wrap.
Show you what Del Paso Heights do. You know what I'm saying? North Side, Sacktown. What's up? Okay. We're gonna really let y'all know what time. DPH in the building. Don't stop hating on the North. You know what I mean? That's how we get down. Straight up Heights, though. Don't be mad. It's not my fault. But go ahead and tell them about the channel. Let them know where they can, what the kind of content they're gonna find on your channel and all that.
Yeah, definitely. What's up, guys? I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. And I do also just want to say, don't nobody feel any type of way. Our people get really emotional when we talk about these relationship topics. Certainly it's all on the person sharing these topics, their perspective. But once again, I am the African Superstar. I would appreciate if you guys come over and support my platform. As recently, my mother channel of over 11,000 subscribers was shut down by YouTube. Certainly, they're trying to silence the information that I'm passing along to my peers about the opportunities here on the continent. I do reside in Accra, Ghana, like I mentioned. So my new platform is under the African Superstar Black. I know O'Shea will also provide you the link on this video. A lot of our mutual viewers, please come back and see me so that we can send a strong message to the people that are suppressing our message, that we are not going to tolerate our voices being silenced, and we will support those that are trying to enlighten our peers. So thank you so much for having me, O'Shea. Also, guys, I have Pan-African collections available for sale at my website, theafricansuperstar.com. I have clothing for the ladies and the fellas, backpacks, cups, flip-flops, towels, you name it. So go check me out. I got 30% off right now. So I'd appreciate your patronage any way that you're able to. Thank you so much, O'Shea.
All right, guys, as you know, keep it real, King Ghana forever. We are out.